Account balances. Today you will learn about account balances. What are we doing today? So please make sure you fill this in. Our learning intentions are, I will be able to maintain a checkbook and check registry. My success criteria is, I will be successfully maintain a checkbook and a check registry 4 out of 5 times. So when you can maintain a checkbook and a check registry 4 out of 5 times correctly, that means you have met your success criteria. My essential question and understanding. My essential question is, do we know enough to determine the unknown? And my understanding is the measures of change over time can be used to describe events. So my vocabulary, I'm going to read the vocabulary to you and you are going to type it in to your class kick. So please make sure you fill in the blank for your class kick. So for a checkbook, it's a book of blank checks with a register for recording checks written. My check registry is used to record all of the checks written, withdrawals, and deposits. My deposit/credit is a sum, plus sign, of money placed into a bank account. And my withdrawal/debit involves removing the minus sign funds from a bank. So we know deposit is we're adding, and withdrawal or debit is we're subtracting. Vocabulary. So reconcile an account. So we're going to have an example right here. It says, Joe owed a balance of $147 on his credit card on June 1st. So anytime you own a credit card, you owe them money. So credit cards aren't like debit cards. Debit cards, that's your money. Credit cards is you're basically borrowing money from somebody else. So, on account on June 1st, below is a list of transactions that occurred during June. So they gave us our transactions. They gave us the date, the description, and the amount. So we see that on June the 3rd, he got some Giddy Up gas. That amount was $31. On June the 7th, a payment was made of $150. So that means he paid money towards his credit card, which was $150. On June 12th was Food-O-Rama. So he got some Food-O-Rama for $134.12. On June 22nd, he got some Big Top Pizza for $34.32. And on June 28th, he went to Bart's Sports Shop and bought something for $16.04. Determine how much money he owes on his credit card account after the purchases at Bart's Sports Shop. So this was his last purchase. So we need to know how much money does he owe. Well, we can look at his purchases. We know since credit cards are already taking away money, we knew it was a negative $31, a negative $134.12, a negative $34.32, and then minus $16.04. So we know he owes negative $215.48 for his purchases alone. We did not add in the $150 because that was a payment. He added money. When you make a payment on a bill, because the credit card is a bill, when he made that payment on that bill, that's a positive. So we didn't add that in. So we know that his balance purchases where we knew he already owed $147.60. So he had a negative $147 minus 60 cents. And then also subtracting the $215.48 that he from his new purchases. So we knew on his credit card he owes $363.08. But like I said, he made a payment. So he added some of that money towards his bill, which is $150. So now he only owes $213.08.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry, pal. Eddie!
Jen, how's it going? What you got there?
I just came from the credit union. And look, they gave me this cool flip book.
Jen?
The animation is kind of lame, though.
I don't think that's a flip book.
The numbers in the corner get bit bigger, but that's pretty much it.
Jen, I think that's your checkbook.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
See, here's the drawer information. That's you. The payee, or the recipient of the money, goes here. And your credit union, because it's the financial institution where the check can be presented for payment, is the drawee. The dollar amount goes here, a memo goes here, and this is where you sign to issue the check.
Nice try.
Checks have come a long way. The very first checks were written like letters. In the 1700s, the first printed checks were on special paper that you could only get at the bank. These checks featured fancy designs that were difficult to copy and made forgeries easy to spot. That's actually where the word itself comes from, checking for forgery.
Should I be worried if my checks look kind of simple?
Nope. Your checks have other security features, microprinting, check numbers, and even basic things like writing out the dollar amount help protect you from check fraud.
What about these numbers down here?
Those numbers identify your financial institution, your account number, and your check number. They make it possible for checks to be read and sorted by machine. In the early days of checking, bank clerks would actually meet at the end of the day to exchange checks and settle the balances. These days, financial institutions send check images electronically to speed up the process.
If everything is so speedy now, how come there's a waiting period when I deposit a check?
The holding period is the amount of time it takes your financial institution to clear the check, meaning they verify the amount and transfer the money. It can vary from a couple of days to a week or more, depending on the financial institution. If there are insufficient funds to complete the transfer, the check bounces. Not literally, Jen.
Eddie, do you think checks are going to be around for much longer? They seem kind of old-fashioned, especially compared to stuff like debit cards and automatic payments.
Checks aren't as popular as they once were, but they're still in use for things like payroll, rent, and utility bill payments. So knowing how to write a check and understanding the holding period is still an important part of balancing a checking account.
Gotcha. Thanks, Eddie.
You got it. Seriously, you gotta stop doing that.
Awesome.
The anatomy of a personal check. So when we have personal checks, so you'll see people write checks for bills still, or you'll receive checks in the mail. Sometimes I receive them for when I need to pay my taxes and so forth. So it's very important to know how to write a check. A lot of times people use cashier's checks, so you want to make sure that it's written out correctly. So normally in this end, it'll have your first and last name, Jane Doe, your street address is written there so that people know, where to find you. So you need to know when you're filling in your check, you're going to put the date. So in this example, it was July the 1st, 2018. You want to make sure you pay to the order of. So you want to make sure you're correctly writing who you're paying it to. In this case, they were paying it to a grocery store. So they put the grocery store's name in this box right here. Then you want to put the amount in numeric. So we knew it was $8.15. You want to make sure you use this squiggly line after so that nobody can add anything extra. You don't want anybody to accident or to put like a little comma and add some zeros. So you want to make sure you write it exactly as $8.15, and then you want to use those squiggly lines afterwards. Then you're going to write it out. This person write 8 and 15 over 100 and the dollars are right there. Like I said, you want to put that squiggly line there because you don't want anybody to alter your check. So you're going to put 8 and you always put that and then you write 15 over 100. So in this case, if it was 15 cents, you put 15 over 100. But if it was 85 cents, you would put 85 over 100, 95 over 100, however much cents over 100. Then in your memo, well, why were you paying for it? Well, I bought it because I was going to have lunch with my friends. And then you want to put your signature. You want to sign it. That's your signature right there. So in your class kick, I gave you something that looks like this. And I want you to go ahead and fill one out. Try one out on your own. It will be a grade. So go ahead and pause the video and try it out on your own. It can be to anybody you want, however much you want. I just want to make sure that you understand how to write a check. Okay. So for me, I use this example. I just bought some Jordans after Christmas. So I went ahead and used that as an example. I wrote them a check. I bought some Jordans from Finish Line I made sure I wrote December the 26th, 2020. I knew it was $203.36, and you put the little squiggly line there. I wrote out $203. You didn't have to write dollars, but I did. But $203 and 36 over 100. And I made sure I put my squiggly lines there so no one can alter my check. For my for line, I put Jordans, so I knew I was purchasing the new Jordans. And then I put my signature right there. All right, so now we're going to talk about balancing that checkbook or reconcile of a checkbook, okay? We're going to look at it. The first thing you want to do is make sure you type in the code. So each time you make a transaction, it should have a code. So like a check number, there's always a check number. So you want to type in your check or write in your check number. So in this case, my first check number was 105. Then I want to write the date, September 1st. Well, I need a transaction description. Well, what did you spend this money on? Well, I need to pay my cell phone bill. So I'm going to type in cell phone bill. I write in my payment. I write my dollars right here and my change right here. In this case, there was no change. It was exactly $45. Put 00 for the change. I need to know, was it so it was a payment, so it was a withdrawal. And then if it was a credit, this was not a credit, so we don't have to write anything in this box. And then we want to look at our balance. Well, we know that we started off with $437.50. This is why it's up here. This money is all up here by itself. Nothing is written. It's just by itself. Well, we knew that it was $45, so we could go $437.50 minus, because withdrawal even has that little negative right there to let us know it's a withdrawal, so it's minus. $45 will give us $392.50. So this is our new balance. This is our new balance. We look at here. This did not have a check number, so they use like little different numbers. So like DC would stand for debit card, or ATM, they went to the ATM and pulled it out. So it was this. The AD stands for auto debit. So on September, they just put AD for auto debit on September 1st. It was a direct deposit. Well, direct deposit is a payment to you. That's your paycheck. Direct deposits are how you get paid. So I knew it was a deposit. It was a deposit. It was a credit to my account. That means it's going to make my bank account go up. So that's a plus. So I will add it to my last transaction where I knew I currently had $392.50. Well, now I can add $1,000 to that. Now my total is $1,392.50. And you just do that with the rest. We know mortgage is a withdrawal, so I put it in the correct box. Then I'm going to subtract it, and so forth. So after they got down to groceries, we knew that they only had $802. So let's try a problem together. We are going to use Desmos to help solve this problem. You start with a balance of $200. How much money will you have after you go shopping and go to the bank? So we started off, we knew that they gave me my description, deposit, withdrawal, and my balance. Like they said, we started off with $200. So I just put it up here by itself, $200. That's my starting balance. We knew that deposit we're going to add. And we know if it's a withdrawal, that means we're subtracting from our balance. So we have Kroger's. Well, we had $200 and I went to Kroger's. I know that's a withdrawal. So if I had to withdraw $42.63, how much is my total? How much is my new total? You should have gotten $157.37. So now I have $157.37, but I want to go deposit. Deposit means you're putting the money in. Deposit $20.45 into my account. Well, how much money do I have now? What is my new balance? You should have gotten $177.82. But I had to stop at 7-Eleven and get some gas in my car. So I didn't have to take it. I'm going to withdraw it. Well, if I'm withdrawing $35.10, you should have gotten what for your new balance? $142.72. And then my last stop is going to be at Target. I want some cute new things, the after Christmas sale. Well, that was $72.18. What is your new balance? $70.54 is your total in your bank account now. So to answer that question, how much money will you have after you go shopping and go to the bank? That's your answer would be $70.54. So now we're going to practice it on our own. Allison's checkbook had a balance of $1,222.05 on October 12th. On October 13th, she wrote a check for $106.30 at the auto repair shop. On October 15th, she wrote a check in the amount of $610 for rent. That same day, her dad sent her $105 to deposit into her account. What is the balance of Allison's account after the deposit? So I want you to go ahead and annotate and work this out on your own, on your Classkick, and then you're going to come back and select the correct answer. So we knew our starting balance was $1,000 and $1,222.05. So we wrote a check, so we know we're going to subtract if we wrote a check. So then you get $1,115.75. Then you wrote another check for $610. So you get left with $500.75. And then you deposited the money, which is $105. So you should have gotten $610.75 is your balance at the end. That's your total balance afterwards. Okay. John has his first job. He is helping his grandfather with yard work. Every Saturday morning, he helps his grandfather rake leaves and pick up sticks in the yard. Once the leaves and sticks are cleaned up, John mows the lawn. John's grandfather pays him $15 every week. John saved most of his money for 2 months, and on August 1st, he opened a checking account with $60. So we see it here. We have the date, August 1st, description of transaction. He's opening a checking account, and his balance starts off at $60. Okay? So it's technically a deposit. So $60 is how much he starts off with. On August 12th, he wrote a check for $50 to pay for swimming lessons. We knew that that was a debit, so we're going to write that in as August the 12th, swimming lessons, $50. And his now, so we know it was a debit, which means they're taking money out. So we went 60 minus 50 gives you $10. Make sure you're filling this into your Classkick as well. His next transaction was on August 13th. He deposited $15. So we know we're going to put that August 13th deposit, put the $15 in the correct slot. Well, $10 plus $15 is going to give you $25. August 14th was a swimsuit that he purchased for $29.99. Well, $25 minus $29.99 gives you $4.99, a negative. So his count went into the negatives because he overspent. But then on August 16th, he got a letter from the bank stating he had overdrawn his account and was being charged another $20. So the bank charged him for $20. That was a debit. So he is negative $24.99 in the hole. So that means he owes the bank $24.99. If John deposits the $30 he earned for helping his grandfather for those 2 weeks, what would his balance be? His balance would be a positive $5.01. So, what did we do today? Well, for your learning intentions, you were able to maintain a checkbook and check registry. For success criteria, I will be successfully maintaining a checkbook and check registry 4 out of 5 times. So you go ahead and complete your assignments. Have a nice day.